It's a long old haul.
On the night shift as well. Is it harder on your eyes? Do you end up squinting?
You just get used to it. You know, you turn a light, you in a dark room, turn the light off. Takes a little while to adjust, and then it's no problem.
Yeah, but you've got nobody dipping their lights behind you. You've got maximum lights being shone into your mirrors. Does that wear you out? Does that make you squint?
It's certainly something to think about. If you're in one of the slower AM cars, and therefore you're getting passed by literally everything on the track, you've got a lot of work to do just to keep your car on the track and also to be continually looking behind you. But if you're in one of the front-running cars, front-running P1s or P2s, then you obviously can just concentrate on what's ahead and not what's behind you. So it's actually a lot easier for the front-running cars than it is for the ones near the back.
Okay, we're coming up to 9 hours completed here at this Le Mans 24 Hours for 2017. Still, Mike Conway leads this race by 63 seconds ahead of Neil Jarni in the Porsche. Conway has been into the pits and out, and he's on his first flying lap as we speak. This is the Tommy Milner Corvette that had the puncture, then the spin. He got away with it, then he had another spin on the way into the pits that left him beached on the pit lane entry. But he is now full of gasoline and he's on his way. Milner in the 64. Okay, right, a bit of a moment here, so we're going to hand over to Julian Porter and Giles Dawson to take you through the night. Peter and I will be back in some 6 hours' time. So, Julian, I'm sure you're ready to rock and roll for this night stint.
Limbering up nicely there.
There's never a dull moment here at Le Mans. We've had a bit of drama. The leader of this motor race, Mike Conway, has been reported to the stewards for overtaking under a yellow flag. We haven't had a decision back from the stewards about that, but we did see a similar report of Bruno Senna passing under a yellow flag, and he got a drive-through penalty, which lost him about 32 seconds. So if you get a drive-through, you're going to lose about half a minute. So that's the big question mark in my mind as we leave.
Saying
hand
that,
over
he
to
does
our
have
colleagues.
a 1:04. I don't know how that's happened, but
no, nor do I.
Last time we looked, it was 33 seconds. And
yeah,
now he's 1:04 ahead.
But Jarni was losing 5 seconds a lap here and there, and 6 seconds a lap here and there, and he's just lost 2 seconds a lap on the last lap. And since we last looked, that's probably added up to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
To make a minute. It's sort of crept up on us. Yeah, Gertz is down there in the pits, and Will Stevens has just got out of the number 84 JMW Motorsport Ferrari. It's Dries van Tor who's just got in, but Will is with Gert. Take it away, Gert.
Triple stint, I think it was. How is the track at the moment?
To be honest, it feels really good. You know, I really tried to not push too hard at the start because I knew that we wanted to get a longer stint. So in the end, I felt super comfortable. I think the pace was really strong at the end and I could manage to push pretty hard. So it's nice that now I believe we're in the lead. So at least we can try and control the gap a little bit more. So at least you're controlling the race rather than trying to attack, which is a really nice place to be honest, heading into the night. But the car feels really good. Trying to keep it nice and under control, not use too many curbs, and we'll see where we end up. But so far, so good, and enjoying it.
There's been some incidents between LMP2 cars and GT cars all through the race. How difficult is it out there?
To be honest, it's pretty hard. I mean, the P2 cars are very quick now, and I think there's a few people with not so much experience driving, obviously, very quick cars. For me, the biggest problem is Porsche curves. You know, they're coming up so quick behind and they always try and go around the outside, and because I've been in a P2 car, now I'm in a GT car, it's a lot harder than a GT car, and we're moving around quite a lot. But I know what it's like also being in a P2 car. We're all pushing flat out, we're all pushing hard, so, you know, everyone wants to lose as little time as possible in traffic, so it would be nice if we could have a tiny bit more respect from the quicker guys, but that's racing.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you for that, Gert. Julian Porter and Giles Dawson in the box for the next 6 hours. They call this the night shift, don't they, in radio? And, Giles has come prepared. We've kind of got some refreshments, so we're all right as one of the 4 drivers jumps out and heads back into the garage. I didn't see who that was. Apologies for that. I was just making sure we had all our information in the right place. But the Julian and Giles show is with you for the next 6 hours as we head into that. The 69 car. That's who that is. Let me try and work out, because I still haven't gathered who is in that car.
That was Ryan Briscoe
getting out.
Oh, I didn't see who's gone in just yet.
No, not yet, sir, but that's okay. We can live with that. That's fine. And, yeah, here we go. Waiting for that answer, notification on what is going to happen with the 7 Toyota. If anything, nothing might happen. But when they've given one car a penalty for a similar thing, you would think there'd be consistency. That's what the drivers and teams are always calling for. This is on board with the Porsche, the 92 car. There's been a couple of dramas while we've been out for the 3 hours. I've been listening to the radios and some of the TV, and there's been a couple of cars having moments and dramas along the way, and one of those being, as Toby was just saying before we took over, one of the Corvettes, which was basically, from what I could gather, he had a big moment at the Porsche curves, got it back to here, and then actually went off just in front of us, and they were actually kind of trying to put it back on the road in front of us. But that is that. So we watching and waiting. Not sure what that thing is up on my screen, but in the car 22 and car 2 pit stop under investigation. So we have 3 LMP1 hybrids out front, which we'd expect. But let's just listen to this Porsche. Oh.
Cut away there as you can see the 25 Manor car, so that's our 4th position car in the LMP2 leaving the pits now. Simon Trummer on board, or has that had full service? No, Simon staying on board. Simon Trummer ex-GP2 racer last year in the collars, in the bi-collars LMP1 car, but one of the drivers being attracted to this new LMP2 formula as it is now. You know, these cars going up to 10 seconds a lap faster around this Le Mans 24-hour circuit. New regulations, more downforce, more power, everything that a racing driver wants.
That's it, that's exactly what they want. And just the 92 car just getting a bit balked and a bit held up behind, well, not held up, he wasn't held up because it's an LMP2 car, but it was messing with his line slightly.
Yeah, the GTE cars in these areas, the slower areas with more mechanical grip, and therefore able to push those P cars through the corners. And then you see, though, we get onto the fast stuff, and away go those LMP cars with their additional downforce and power. New Porsche, the new mid-engine Porsche. They didn't build a road car like that. They turned the engine around in that car, and it just sounds so different to any of the previous, flat 6 Porsches. Real scream to it. He heads down to the first chicane. We've lost some of our cameras now that it's got dark, particularly in this area of the circuit, so we'll see lots of onboards there going through Tertre Rouge.
And if they sound like that, we don't mind.
No.
That's great. So this is work going on. The windscreen, I heard, came out of this car to help with the work in the...
Well, the MG UK had to come out through the windscreen, which is why that had
so
to...
Porsche didn't have to do that, but Toyota do.
But of note, the car, Porsche number 2, what did we lose? We lost nearly 2 hours.
Well, apparently I thought it was 2 hours, but apparently it was just over an hour. But I thought it was longer than that. I've been told by someone else it was just over an hour. Anyway.
No. Buemi, who was in the number 8 Toyota at the time, has lost a lot more time down in 45th place overall right now, while the Porsche sits in that's had the same service sits in 26th.
Now, a bit of a stats man was telling me, as we just look at the leaderboard, we'll go through that before we come back, but it is Porsche in second, but the leader is the number 7 Toyota. 148 laps completed so far with 14 hours, 50 minutes to go. The leader in LMP2, currently 4th overall. That podium place isn't so far away for a P2 car. It's Bruno Senna in the Rebellion 31 car. Down to our Pro category, and that is the 97 car, 97 Aston Martin with Serra in it. And then leading the AM category is the 84 Ferrari, because there was problems for the Aston Martin. They had damage on the front. It was a flat-spotted tyre, I was told, and basically Pedro Lamy in the car, lucky to get away with actually what he did, with damage to the front end, the wing and the wheel arch and things like that. So,
but interesting to see the number 95 Aston clawing the time that it lost early on back. So, of course, 95 involved with small incident and needed to come in the place of the diffuser. What time was that? That was sort of 8 o'clock in the...
Yeah, it was a puncture on the rear, wasn't it? Yeah, yesterday. We're into a new day.
So that car got, depending where you are, of course. But that
here,
car
at this race, we're into a new day.
We are. Happy Father's Day.
Oh, yeah, let's send a text. Don't think my dad will appreciate it this time of night, but never mind. But yeah, so there was some dramas there. Now, I was listening to a stats man who's obviously far cleverer than me and has a bit more information than me. And he says the LMP1 cars take an hour to basically catch a lap back on LMP2 cars.
Yeah.
So they're reckoning still with this number, the number 2 car, the Porsche which was in the garage, they worked it out. They reckon he's 25th at the minute, 4th. But he's now 22nd. But I mean, I can't really work it out.
11 laps down.
11 laps down. So, and there's 14 hours to go. So they're reckoning
that car will be back up to...
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I did some rough maths last night.
Oh, we've got a car in the gravel.
That is one of our Ford GTs. You can tell from the back there, the green highlighted car.
Oh, right.
That is on the outside of Indianapolis.
Oh, Toby hasn't written
the number 66 car. Olivier Pla on board. So we're going to see a replay here, arriving backwards from the apex. So
went very early then, didn't it?
Very early. Right, so he drops in through the right-hander. Wow, oof, snap, round it went.
All these downshifts should have been done by that point.
Absolutely. By then, you're getting back on the throttle.
Yeah.
So didn't hear engine noise, but normally by then, before the apex there, that banked corner, you're looking to get back on the throttle and get the run down into the Arnage slow right-hander, the slowest right-hander on the circuit. So he had the ignition cycled. Not seeing him get the thing out, but
that's going to need lifting, isn't it? That's good.
He might need some Manitou assistance there.
So the 92 car back onto the track. Christensen in that car.
Yeah, there's an external CCTV shot.
Just going to need something, isn't it?
Yeah, all the cars have the same lifting system. So through the roof, 2 eye bolts, 2 holes where they can put eye bolts down through, and the Manitou, the digger, can just pick the car up on its hydraulic arm and drop it on the tarmac runoff area that you can see there. So they're clearing the garage, ready to bring it back in. Interesting.
Yeah.
They've got a complete rear corner assembled already. Disc and caliper. That's normal. So those will be pre-bled. And if they're going to do disc as well, they just do the whole lot. So there's a dry brake coupling, snap it away. Off comes the old disc and caliper, on goes the new disc and caliper with pads already fitted.
So that's powered off for the minute. He's just waiting for assistance because that's stuck. He hasn't tried to get it back on the road, has he yet? So
no, you can see that right rear wheel is actually slightly proud the way it's sitting on its belly in the gravel trap. It's a strange one. See, through the right, no engine noise, but normally it's down, 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 in, flop. That's getting back on the throttle by then.
Yeah, or at least a balanced throttle. Your downshifting is done by that point. So, right, the Manitou is there. We'll get that lifted out. So, car 66, that is, if you're just joining us. Now all the lights are off on it. You can't work out what colour it is, but the 66 car is the green. They have different colours on the Fords, kind of like strip lighting down the sides of it to give us a bit of an idea who it is. And just as we were coming back in, the Tracy Crone car had a spin, and there was a huge amount of gravel. It's not the corner where that car has spun, the 66 Ford, but a huge amount of gravel scattered around the circuit, and drivers who are like swapping over to come in for the night shift and get themselves on the way is oh, the front wheel. Oh god, right,
there we go.
Yeah,
just trying to see what's going on with the rear wheels. Does one of them look?
The front one looks stuck. The front one's jammed.
I don't know if that's the way that they're lifting it. 'Cause that was a toe, but equally.
But even when he got back onto the tarmac, that front wheel was
right.
as if there could be a lot of gravel wedge in there because it's just been pulled through the gravel. So
we'll see now. It will cycle the ignition, and you'll see all the green light up down the side of the car.
Just wait for that to happen.
There we go. Headlights and the big green glowing side lights. Spinning the rear wheels. No, that right front is still locked. He's feeling that. He's gonna. I would suggest he's gonna be getting out of the car.
Yeah, it is jammed, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the left front
that
turning?
One's moving,
yeah, the left front. Into reverse and see if it'll free off. There we go. The engine's running again. Is that related to the issue or not? Cause or effect?
See, trying to think if we have any. We seem to be up to a bit of pace now.
No smoke pluming off that corner, so I suspect that was effect rather than cause. Now dumping loads of gravel everywhere. Yeah, the wheels turning now.
Hang about, are you sure? Look at the smoke coming out the back of it.
No, that's dust and.
There's still dust.
Yeah, absolutely. Something glowing deep in there, but that's probably heat soak on a turbocharger. Lots and lots and lots of heat soak when you sit like that. When you shut an engine down like that immediately with no warning, no cool down, then everything just sits there and gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and that's why these engines struggle to restart, because you've come in and actually the engine's running at 100 degrees water temperature on track, and park it like that. It doesn't take very long, a matter of a minute to be up to 120, 125 degrees. No fans on these cars to keep them cool, which is why you would kill it and just leave it sitting there in the gravel trap with the engine off. So otherwise the thing would be boiling itself to pieces.
He's not at full speed though.
No, not surprising really. He's just had a strange off. Car 66 exit behaviour from gravel under investigation, so he's going to get a telling off for whatever he's done. That's the Spirit of Race. Is it Spirit of Race car?
55.
55, I think it is. Yeah, Spirit of Race. Who's on board the 55 class Ferrari? Duncan Cameron. So the boss. It's okay for the boss to do it.
Yeah, that's it. That's fine for him to do that. But what else could that have? Let's just go back to this Duncan Cameron.
Clobbered the curb pretty hard there, but no damage done, I don't think.
No, just into the grass, fortunately. So he'd be able to, as we've seen, he just selects first gear and goes round. But what I'm not sure about is that it's they're obviously not happy that he dumped a load of gravel onto the racing line as he popped back out.
I don't know what else he could have done there, really.
Not really sure, apart from stay off the racing line, but that's got a nasty vibration when you look at those headlights.
It has got a nasty vibration. We've got race director Eduardo Freitas going to talk about it, presumably.
Behavior of car 66 after getting out of the gravel bed is under investigation. Manager car 66, can you kindly ask your driver not to leave gravel all over the track, please?
That's him told.
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain what other option he had from there.
No, it's the rear wheel. The rear right wheel looked bent, as if something broken. And that's when he turns the corner. Looks like he's got three-wheel steering.
Not sure who we've got down there. Yeah, and there is smoke coming off that right rear corner.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who we've got down in the pits at the moment, if anybody. So we'll be relying on Ford to tell us what's going on there.
I do love the colours on that. It's a really cool thing with the green, and I'm not sure which is my favourite. I think the blue's my favourite.
I think we're going to see this car turned around and into the pits. So they've got a camel back there as the driver's drinks bottle. That's going to get swapped out.
Again, it's
the driver
like
staying on board, so Olivier Pla being left in.
The fuel going in and the driver's drinks bottle going in. That's just a regular thing. Then they know that it's all done for when they come back out.
Yeah, the car's going back. See, they've got these skids to the side of the car. Car's going to go onto the skids to be rotated around and back into the garage.
Yeah, there's something. There was some. By the end of it, there was some smoke coming out of that right rear, wasn't there? And I don't know whether the wheel just had a slight bit of movement. Could be wheel bearing, maybe, or something.
Could be something like that, but.
I'm now thinking because of the hour into the race, that's something.
Yeah,
that's what he's being told off for.
Yeah, that was online. That was pretty silly, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he's offline now, but I just, what could he have really done? That
gone high
and cut across. Then that's the only thing he could have done. And then what he's done there is we've seen. Dear me.
There's going to be a lot. Take the gloves out of there first, boys. You know, and that's the radiators down in the nose of the 4GT. So that's them clearing an awful lot of collected gravel from in there. Tyres coming off.
Still with a load of pickup on it.
Not sure how far into the stint he is, but whether those tyres, I suspect as he's staying on board, he's pretty early on the stint. So if those tyres are kaput, then that's going to be another set from their allocation with an issue. So we've got a safety car for the first time in the race, I believe.
Yeah, well, I believe it is. We've run off slow zones before now, so safety car out, and this potentially either squashes the gaps up or makes them a lot longer, depending on which queue you get in. There is three them
safety cars
around the track.
One comes out from just before pit lane, one comes out from halfway down the Mulsanne, one comes out from Arnage, and the three crocodiles, as we call them, circulate the track. Now, the one difference here is pit lane remains open. Normally in a WEC race, pit lane is shut, and if you can't go in unless you are, I've run out of fuel, I need to get in because I physically can do nothing else. Here, you'll go into the pits, do your service, and then you can go to the end of the pit lane and sit and wait to be released into the next queue.
Safety cars on track, safety cars on track. I'm forced to put the safety cars on track to remove the gravel which was left by car 66.
So he's still getting a telling off, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's not very happy, isn't he, our race director, about what the 66 car did.
It's understandable in terms of, you know, that's a windscreen that somebody's going to do, that's headlights that are going to get smashed. You'd be surprised how badly damaged the front of the cars can get from that kind of gravel.
As well as the next car coming along, understeering and going into the gravel themselves.
Exactly, but the damage that for the next 6 hours that will cause while it's all being cleared off every area of line. I remember doing a 24-hour race at Silverstone, and at the end of deciding it was at 3 o'clock start, it's okay to start without the light protectors on. Car coming in for the first stop, both the auxiliary lights in the centre smashed. You know, just because of somebody's run through the gravel. It's
Someone dived to the pits there. I'm not really sure who, but
so it just depends where you are and what your battle is, and whether you feel that it's worth it. You know, if you're close anyway, we've got a lot of cars diving for the pits. You know, if you're going to get held just to be released into the next croc, and that's not going to drop you behind the battle you're already in. It's okay. We heard Alan last night talking about when he was fighting Peugeot. You know, he was 1.5 seconds back, and then the safety car split the two of them. You know, and that ruining the race. But equally, you know, the beauty of the slow zones is you don't have that same effect. It's same net effect on everybody-ish, because not everybody goes through the same amount of times, and you can make better of the slow zones. If there's a long snow zone out, then on a particularly high speed part of the track, you might choose to come in and not minimise your losses from a pit stop. But when it's safety car, you're always going to go out behind the crocodile after you're won. So it's a net loss of a third of a lap.
So the safety car is for that footage you've just seen of the 66 Ford spinning into the gravel trap and then basically spreading a lot of the gravel that he picked up out onto the racetrack. This is the 31 Rebellion. This is our leader, Bruno Senna, on board that car at the moment. 4th overall, outright 4th overall, but first in the LMP2 category. Beautiful shot.
Hoping that is... Both the Rebellions at the last stops have had the beer keg plugged in, which is normally the oil shot is a single shot that you can't leave like that. You've got to use gravity to use it. I'm hoping that's not coolant that they're putting in. The fact it's a pressurised keg does make me question that.
I wasn't even looking at it. I was admiring the cameraman's work from above. That's what I was admiring. But these guys now are waiting for the next safety car crocodile to come past so they can join the back of it.
Correct, yeah, and that was a medical car, extrication car going out that we saw. So here's one of the gravel sweepers that these guys use. So they put this mats down and drive up and down in the area and it sweeps the gravel away.
It does a really good job. I was watching it the other day.
Yeah.
It's like a Hoover.
Yep.
I don't know, where does it go? It just
gets trapped in that square.
And then they just take it onto the grass.
And it empties itself. It's a really clever idea. So these guys all sitting there, engines running, waiting for the next crocodile. As I say, it'll be a third of a lap net loss, which it's not a full pit stop, but it depends if it splits your battle up. That's the difference.
Could they use? I know they can't change a lot and do a lot, but could they, if they know, right? If we pull out of one crocodile, we wait for the next one. And then they can maybe just do an additional bit of work if they wanted to. This is it. We're gonna Yeah, it's still warm outside. I mean, I'm not sure what it is, but it is still warm outside. But this is it. You won't be able to see the ground. Well, you can. In the blue lights behind, you can kind of see there is no gravel. But when you're looking at the headlights in front, there is. So yeah, is there an opportunity to maybe just do? Because it's going to take what, a couple of minutes, 3 minutes for that next safety car. I don't know how quickly can they change a set of brake pads, what else they could do in that additional time to actually use. Oh, we've got number 7 team radio coming up.
Number 7, yeah. So just informing Mike Conway there that Yanni in the Porsche is behind safety car C. So in effect, 2/3 of a lap ahead of him. 2 minutes 42, the current gap, as Conway comes across the start-finish line to start lap 152.
That gap has massively stretched out recently, and I mean, this has obviously not helped it, but that gap has stretched out quite a lot before. But yeah, what I was saying, so is there anything else that they could say, tell you what, we're going to just do this while we've got the chance?
This is prime opportunity to do exactly as you say. If you think you can go to the end now on discs or pads, or if there's a particular bit of service that you've got planned into your schedule, you look for an opportunity like this. You look for an opportunity to say, right, okay, if it's complete corner, a lot of cars will do discs and pads as one, as we saw the Fords were planning to do. Some cars in the GTE class will get away with just pads and do the whole race on a set of discs. So it depends on the materials that they're using, depends how aggressive that material is on the disc. But there are pads out there that will go 17, 18 hours on one of these cars.
Because even if they miss the next crocodile and pick up the next one, as long as they don't go a lap down.
Yeah, and again, it depends on the battle they're in.
Yeah, but also it will save them in the long run. It will save them quite a bit of time, because if they did that under green flag racing, they are going to lose a lap or so. Easy.
Yeah, for sure. There's ways of minimising your losses. That's what the race engineers are always looking to do, minimise that time lost. Find a way to ensure that everything that's painful is done at a time like this, but not seeing many of them doing that kind of thing yet, because typically, you try and chase it to after the halfway, because the last thing you want to do is do it now and then find that actually you didn't do your sums quite right. And
yeah.
I've got on point 1 of a brake pad short at the end. You always try and go further. You're looking to Dawn to try and get that done rather than this stage. So we'll see. I suspect that Ford's getting some corners on it, the fact they were sitting there already out of the box. This is down at the first chicane, so you can see gravel there being thrown up even through that section.
I think what they will do is will they generally just clean up the whole place, or just stick to that one area, which is...
They will take the opportunity to do
anywhere that there's particular mess around, just to give it a bit of a clean. As the Japanese flag flies in the breeze. There is a bit of a breeze, but it's still warm. And there's a Japanese car out front. Mike Conway is aboard it. And you look at the gap now, 3 minutes 10, just because of the safety cars. I mean, when they're on slow zones, they're limited to 80 k's an hour. Do they limit the speed even in the safety car?
Yep, absolutely. Those safety cars have to keep the same gap. They're being orchestrated by Eduardo Freitas and his team to ensure that they all come in at the same time. We'll see that in a sec, that they'll all come launching down the pit lane, and then, as I say, Arnage, and oh, we've got a spinner on the way into the pits, which looks like the number 1 car. Number 1 Porsche has spun in front of us on pit entry. A very strange spin. And now he's struggling to get the car turned around. He's coming towards us. He's within about 10 metres of us as he shoots across now and into the pit lane.
Came to see us, that's what I think he was. He wasn't far away from us, was he, on that? I mean, I didn't... Did you actually saw that spin?
It was a strange spin. It was just a club of the curb type spin. So,
but not
Yanni
inside.
will be kicking himself there.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed he didn't lose too much time to end up not getting out behind the next croc.
Yeah, I mean, here it is.
Here it is. Yeah, just clip the curb, booted it, and round it went. No need to be doing that under the safety car.
Right,
it's
here it is on board.
Mistake. Curb. Oh, we cut away from it as it was going to spin.
I'm going to ask something, and it brings me back to 1994 or 5. He's just been cruising along at whatever speed he's been cruising along. Then he's got out of the safety car. He's picked up his speed to try and get down the pit lane as fast as he can.
Which is unnecessary in the circumstances.
New nose going on it.
Yeah, that could just be clean headlights.
Okay, I saw the other.
That looked like Nick Tandy going into me. So I think that's full service. Nick Tandy in and a new nose for Nick. That might be a balance change. So knowing that the cool air, he's only just going to break it out before the safety car croc comes past. So that was quite lucky that Yanni didn't lose more time there. But I'm sure that we've got Nick Tandy on board that car now. We'll see as it crosses pit out.
That's it. What the point I was going to make, though, is that I remember David Coulthard basically running into the pit lane in Adelaide or somewhere, and he put the pit speed limiter on, and he was going slower than the speed limiter, and he accelerated him, and he went into the wall.
Yeah.
And did we have a situation like that where he was actually, once he got onto pit road, he could go faster, tyres were a bit cooler because they've been driving around for a couple of laps, and just basically got caught out in a silly place.
Yeah, silly mistake, but he had no need to be pushing that hard, so hopefully no damage done, though. He's going to get out behind...
He's got plenty of time behind him anyway.
Yeah, he has, but equally that gap's now going to be out to, in effect, 2/3 of a lap. So once we actually get flying...
I'm going to say it's 3:42 when he came in.
Yeah, exactly. When he gets flying, that's going to be a 2-minute gap.
Yeah.
So out he goes.
He's even further away because he's into another crocodile now. But he was going to do that anyway. That was a risk they were taking by coming in. Not a risk, that was a strategy gamble they were taking by coming in.
I just want to see whether actually he's now into the crop that Conway is in which case he's gone a lap down. I think
it's not this one.
That is the crocodile. No, it's not that one.
And that was the number 2 car we were just on board with. It wasn't the number 1 car. That was the number 2 car we were just on board.
See which cars are in which crocodile, but
I'll tell you what I can do.
Work it out.
Fire the app up, and I might be able to, if I can get it working quick enough, fire the app up. Oh, I'm making a phone call to someone in the office by mistake on the work phone. Let's see if I can get this fired up. This is where this might work. I do have it I think we've got tracker map on one of our screens, but I don't want to change it in case I can't get anything back. Let's just see.
I think he might be in the same croc. If he is, that's him gone a lap down, but timing screens will take time to update.
Okay, so they're still clearing up. Trying to see. The tracker map is showing them all together at the moment.
Yeah, that's
all of them together, not just them. Oh well.
See them go through a sector.
Yeah, they're going to come back through past us soon anyway, so we'll be able to work it out, because our little tracker map's not really working 100% for us here, but never mind. That idea didn't work.
That,
7 car on pit road as well.
2, yeah. So, yeah, 7, right. So, no, they're not in the same crocodile. So, 7 now going to be released, loser crocodile, coming in behind the number 50 Corvette there.
And that would have put him into the crocodile that Gianni was in.
It would have, but now it's no net loss. Same, so the gap will end up being the same. It just shifts, offsets that gap to a different place on the circuit. Number 7 getting full service, Andre Lotra getting in.
Kobayashi. Unless you know something I don't.
Sorry. Yeah, Kobayashi, the black helmet.
I know.
See black helmet in the Toyota and think.
Very similar.
So used to seeing that black helmet at Audi of Andre Lotra.
A little bit of the mechanic on the front just sweeping out whatever he can there. Kobayashi. I seem to remember that he had a good run in the dark last year.
Yeah.
And into the daylight, it was
always does.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a night specialist, I think. So he's going to be first car in the queue to go out.
We're still waiting for when we first came in, which was 35 minutes ago. We were waiting on news of this car.
Yes.
For a yellow flag infringement, which we haven't had yet. There might not be anything, but you never know. If you're obsessed with fastest laps and things like that, the fastest lap was set on lap 3 by Mike Conway in the 7 car. The 3:18, 6:94. Oh, we've got a new door going on this car.
The Corvettes have been struggling with retaining their windows. And I think that's what we've just seen there, that one of them had popped a window out. It is, and that one, I think, has had a bodge job done on that window as well.
Isn't it?
It's taped in. Yeah, that's the second Corvette door we've seen change so far. So we're going to hear from Toyota, number 9, Nick Lapierre.
We stay out and we follow the safety car at the moment.
So he's just going to stay out, follow the safety car. Away goes the Toyota. That was one of the G-Drive drivers coming over and giving him the thumbs up. Very strange.
But he's gone out before this.
No. Shouldn't have.
You're
right. The
crocodile's only just gone past.
That's not right. He should not have been released then. If that's the case, is he? Yeah, no, he's on the out. So he's ahead of the crocodile. So he's lost.
He's got to have been.
Yeah.
Because the crocodile, the safety car, when he got the nice car still parked here.
Held. That's a mistake. That is a mistake. The number 50 car now being released in stalls to go out behind the crocodile. That's a mistake.
That as long as everything is in tune, and that
was a free pit stop. But if that's the case, that was a free pit stop.
And he'll be whizzing around trying to catch the back.
Catch the croc.
But that's not allowed.
It's not, but it's the organiser's mistake. So at the end of the day, that's not going to. They can't take that back. Did you think
it was a G-Drive person?
It was a G-Drive person waving him out.
Not a marshal.
Not a marshal.
Because that Corvette had a marshal stood in front of him.
Yeah, I'd like to see a replay.
Yeah.
But that looked like a G-Drive driver stood there waving him out.
Yeah.
It was somebody with a helmet on and orange overalls, which is the G-Drive guys.
Yeah. But what is strange is you would think there would be And I say, until we see another replay, we could be just making
exactly, we could be.
There'd be normally a red light, wouldn't there, to stop them?
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
normally a red light.
Normally a red light, and in that instance, normally you've got a marshal stood on the right-hand front nose on a corner.
Which appeared when the Corvette went
which
there.
did appear when the Corvette went there. So Jacques Lecomte there, debriefing with is that Philippon, talking about how the car was feeling and what it's doing. The boss of Labre Competition. The gap now. So Tandy's in the crocodile that's now coming past.
It's nearly 5 minutes, like we thought it would be the gap.
Yeah. Just trying to see where Tandy is. So it was Tandy on board. So this is, where is he? There he is
at the back
There's
of that
Tandy
line.
at the back of the crocodile coming across the start finish. So it looks to me like that was a free pit stop given to Kobayashi in the number 7 car.
It'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, well.
It wasn't the marshal waving him out.
I mean, was it just whoever it was, but he's just kind of like giving the thumbs up, you're doing a great job.
He went.
And he thought it was a...
Don't know.
I'm sure he went when he shouldn't have, because the safety car,
the Labre car waited.
Yeah.
And they came in together. So Labre's pit stop was slightly longer and they came in ahead. Their stops normally are slightly longer, but they changed the door as well. So. Okay, we'll see how that one pans out. They're not going to give, unless he went on without marshal instruction, they're not going to give him a penalty. So let's see.
Let's see if there's anything.
To watch a replay of that.
Yeah, let's see if anything's popped up.
So the Ford still in the pits. George Howard Chappell at the back, left corner there, overseeing the work going on the car. George in charge of this programme on both sides of the pond.
See, that car stood there with a marshal there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to just get some info. I'm just trying to basically find a... get some information up.
You can hear the drivers there on board the 92. He was really working the brakes to keep temperature. At this time of night, tarmac temperature starting to come down, you need to keep all your temperatures and pressures up. So he's working the brakes, accelerate, brake, just to build as much pressure in the tyres as he can. But braking hard like that's a very good way to generate more energy than weaving sometimes. You know, weaving can generate surface temperature.
Here we go.
Number 7.
Right, two things. One, fuel saving, yeah. That he's now in a crocodile. But has he caught that crocodile, or has he actually stopped just beyond that camera?
The Corvette is behind him, so I think...
He stopped.
I think what we saw was he stopped just beyond the camera. He pulled forward of the camera rather than...
Okay, yeah.
So I suspect it was just the way the camera shot looked, and actually it's all fine because that is the Corvette following him.
Okay. Lead now back down to a kind of 217-ish at the moment.
Which is how it should have been.
Which is, yeah.
So no net gains for anybody. That's what we expected. So that's fine. The Aston Martin Racing Garage. Those guys currently pretty happy with their efforts. I think we're leading the GTE Pro Class 1-2. A safety car between not even a safety car between the two of them. 3 seconds between the two Astons, 97 and 95. So 95 made some real progress.
2 seconds, only 5 seconds
all
between.
In the same crocodile. And then in the AM class, Dries Van Toor on board the JMW car. They've just chipped away at it with the new Ferrari 488, new to them Ferrari 488, converted up from a GT3 spec car. Talking to the guys at JMW earlier in the week, they were saying that gave them more options for work to do during the winter, have a GT3 kit. So the Ferrari, the one car that can be converted from GT3 up to GTE. So there we hear that braking and accelerating again. Pump the brake pedal, make sure the brake temperature's there. Brake temperature giving the carcass of the tyre the temperature it needs, and they'll really start doing that now that we see the safety cars coming in this lap. Be really hard pumping on there. So we've now got Eduardo Freitas. We're not getting race director right now. Here he is.
Safety cars are coming in at the end of this lap. No overtaking before passing the line of the safety car which you are following.
And also, just in amongst there, we've got a shot of the 8 car getting the front end put back on it. That's been in the garage for a fair amount of time.
Lost a lot more time than... oh, we've lost the television.
We've lost a monitor. That's how much time it's lost. It's gone off the screen completely because it's gone blank. So a car diving into the pits, which I'd have thought that would have wanted to have done that before the safety car went in. But anyway, it is the 17 car. That one was off in warm-up before. Anthony Davison getting ready. He kind of does like the night shift. Okay, green flag. We're off and away again.
So you've got to wait till you cross the line before you can make any moves, whether you're behind a slower GTE car or not. Very frustrating for the LMP cars as they see then these cars all getting more and more strung out as they fight their way through. Cars going offline there through that quick right-hander. Number 95 there is the second car. I'm sure that's 97 now, free and running down through the Forest S's. So that is our GTE Pro leader, Daniel Serra, on board. He heads through Tertre Rouge and now out onto the Mulsanne straight. Getting a real good break there and opening that gap up.
That's going slowly. That's the leader. Going slowly. Is it behind? No, it is going slowly. That is not behind a safety car, and it's just started the lap.
Listen to the engine. No gears.
Our race leader is in trouble. That was the 7 car.
Car 7 under investigation for pit exit, which we talked about.
It doesn't really matter right now.
And now, but what it sounded to me on the very early shot when we cut to it, you heard him blipping the throttle in an old-fashioned way to try and pull it. So Toyota 17 radio now.
I cannot move. I cannot move.
He cannot move. You can hear it. Yeah, box full of neutrals. I think he's driving on electric power. I think he's driving on the electric motors.
Tandy's down to 50.6 seconds already.
This is the moment that
he's pulling off just to kind of shortcut everything
looks
for
like
safety.
He's got a gear. Looks like he's got a gear to me. Not probably a gear that he wants, but the car is now driving under more than electric motors pace.
Just look at it. Look at the flames coming out the back.
Trying to engage the gear. Yeah.
Tandy has gone past him. Tandy, we have got a lead change.
Nick Tandy leads.
We've got a lead change. 14 hours, 15 minutes to go, and we have a lead change. Porsche lead, that'd be for the first time properly.
Absolutely.
Properly.
I think Toyota will be concerned about stopping the car on the circuit to do a full system reset, just in case they lose the car there. So I think they're going to try and bring the car back on board now with Nick Tandy, our new race leader, coming down the Mulsanne, down into the second. We're going to have radio from, I think, Porsche number 1.
Toyota 7 in front, limping, going slowly.
Just a confirmation there of exactly what we were talking about. So I don't know if I think the Toyota guys will try and get the car back to the pits with Kobayashi on board before they do the reset, the full reset.
I remember in 2014, I think it was Nakajima on board. It stopped in the night and they couldn't even find the car for ages because it just completely lost everything and was just parked up somewhere and he couldn't do anything about it. As you say, in the night if it stops, it's so much harder because it's dark. Do they carry a torch? I mean,
they will have a torch.
But how much worse it's, as you say, just get it back. Even if we lose 2 minutes or 3 minutes, get it back.
Too risky to shut the whole thing down without knowing what's really going on. They'll be looking through the telemetry data and trying to see have they lost some hydraulic pressure on a system. Have they got an actuator issue? Is it a selector problem? Have they got a compressor that's there to actuate the gear change that's gone down? But it sounded like it was trying to shift. It was, it was blipping him as it should when he pulls the paddles. but not going anywhere. So it would have been nice to see the display on board. You see the display on board the Porsche now. You can see the gear, but it'd be nice to see if that's scrolling through on the Toyota.
Okay, so where are we at now? That's just out of a chicane. He's got ages to go.
Yeah, that's the first chicane.
That's the first chicane. He's got so far to go.
I think he's just under electric power, and I'm surprised they've not killed the engine. Look at the top left. It's saying he's stuck in first gear. I don't think he is in first gear. So it's 3,500 RPM first gear, 62 kilometres an hour. He's not hit the pit speed limit or something stupid like that, has he?
I've never thought about that.
I've seen that happen before. I've had drivers come on the radio saying, car won't go, and cycled through a half a dozen things and then said, just press all the buttons on the steering. Oh, it goes.
Car 69 under investigation. That's the Dixon Ford for possible overtaking under the safety car. Who is in that car? Yeah, it is Scott Dixon. Yeah, it is. I got that bit right.
That's likely to be overtaken before a line, and it's more difficult here in that it's not the start-finish line every time. So sometimes you're launching. Well, two of the safety cars aren't in the right place, but there is a defined safety car line on the Mulsanne straight and down at Arnage that you can't pass before.
There was just some pointing by the
Porsche guys,
yeah, to the mechanic, and he whizzes off.
So we're about to see our leader Nick Tandy put a lap on Kobayashi. Doesn't this feel like the last hour last year?
I mean, what? It is just...
He's trying to limp it through.
But still a long way to go, as you said.
I want to see that graphic again and see whether we're limited to a certain speed, because
he was stuck at a certain speed, but it wasn't 60.
It was 62.
It was,
and with a backwind pushing down, you know, car 54 is getting a 10-second stop-go penalty. But with a, you know, coasting down the hill, you might get 2 kilometres an hour.
That penalty is for the Spirit of Race 54 Ferrari. Right. Let's see. What can we see on the floor? Nothing, because we've cut from it. Kobayashi going slowly. This was our leader, the car which really had dominated qualifying.
Yeah.
Dominated the race. Porsche had led in the pit stop windows, but now Porsche lead on speed. The number one car keeping itself.
The number 9 car is going to pass Kobayashi before Kobayashi makes it back to the pits.
And somewhere in amongst this, the leader has gone past.
Yeah.
Tandy leads by a lap.
But Lapierre, 1 lap down in number 9, is really the gap that now matters. So as we've been saying all week, kind of like the car that they don't want to win might be the last bullet in the gun if this is more terminal.
Sensible driving here by Kobayashi, bumping along the hard shoulder, so to speak, but to keep out of the way.
Car 2 drive-through penalty, releasing the safety harnesses. So whoever was on board number 2...
At some point, we don't know when it was.
Yeah, has released his belts to do something that he shouldn't have done. So Earl Bamford on board,
67.
but that doesn't mean that it was Earl.
67 has got a drive-through penalty as well, overtaking under the next slow. But there was also the Scott Dixon car was down for something, wasn't it? Yeah. So 2 Fords are down. They were down for potential overtaking as well.
Yep.
So
7 people Durrani on board that car. So
here
we go,
again.
Kobayashi, yep.
Driver default 48 for electric drive, and try to pump the clutch to see if you can disengage it.
Okay, so he's saying engage the electric drive, bring it back on electric power as we suspected. They've actually killed the engine because the engine would have been getting hotter and hotter and hotter. And they don't want to boil the thing the whole way back, and not enough airflow to keep it cool, and then keep pumping the clutch to see if you can engage a gear. So an engagement of drive, yeah, we're down to 3rd now. Nick Lapierre ahead of him now in the number 9 car, who is now, I think, only net 1 lap back from Nick Tandy.
254.
I think it will cycle through.
150. You think it will?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But he's trying to engage the gear by pumping the clutch and pulling on the paddle. The hydraulic system, obviously, gear actuation system, obviously works.
2 car in pit lane. Will that be to serve its penalty? The two Porsche is in the pit lane. This is our leader, the number 1 Porsche, the Yanni Lotterer Tandy car, as the number 7 Toyota crawls back. He has been on this lap for minutes. It's under electric power. I mean, just look at the faces of them. They had this. I mean, it's still 14 hours to go. Anything can happen. But
Toyota just don't ever get any luck here.
Never won here.
Never won here.
Never won here. All the years
always
of trying.
taken away by silly things, small issues. It's never monumental shunts. It's always the
mechanical issue.
The wiring loom that chafed through in 2015. Was that 14? On board the car when it got lost out the back.
And then last year was just a fracture in a housing or something.
It was, exactly. Following a spin, some would argue.
You're right. Tandy leads by 1 lap over lap here now that he's crossed the line. But the 2 car is now out of the pits. So that, we didn't see that, but that could have been its drive-through or stop and go. I can't remember what it was given now. There's so much stuff gone on in that last 7 or 8 minutes.
Trying to see what the Toyota guy is preparing. They've got their trays that are built up with spare assemblies within them and often tools inside those trays. If it's a clutch, they're going to have to split the bell housing.
Yeah. If it's a clutch, I was just about to say. Remember the 8 car that's just kind of come back on track a few minutes ago, just as this safety car's. This is stopping.
Oh dear.
This is stopping. He's pulling over. Okay.
Why are they?
I don't know whether he's got a choice.
Cycle the power. No, it's
so dodgy.
You can hear the gear shift clicks there.
See, here it was, and the car behind is thinking, I can't overtake. Look at the smoke coming out the back of it. Look at the smoke in the headlights of the Corvette.
This was what we heard as he came up the hill. So it was as the safety car came in, it did it.
I'm just looking for him parked up in the lights because he did stop. He's still, well.
Is this why he went? Is this why he left early from the pits? Did he have no choice but to leave early? Did he have a clutch issue that was presenting itself at that point?
And it kind of rolled through us. I don't know, but so let's look. Tyre pressure.
Yeah, but that's just coming down. That's an alarm because he's not got the forces to keep the tyre warm. So it's saying it's in first gear, but there's no drive.
He's there. He's still got his lights on, so he's not done a cycle because that would shut everything down.
Yeah,
that is still moving, but that could be going downhill on the because that's a slight downhill section.
Quite steep downhill section on the run down to Indianapolis.
So what I was going to say before, the number 8 car is somewhere going around slowly. I can't even see it anywhere. Oh, there it is, 54th place overall. That had only just come out. That was exiting the pits as the 7 car stopped.
Yes.
They've only just fixed one, and they got another one to do. But that is the 2 cars back in the pits again. So it's
on its drive through,
and now it's doing its work. It's having whatever it's going to change.
Watching number 9 come down through the Forest S's.
1 lap behind.
Goes through onto Mulsanne straight and run down the first chicane.
They've got a good driver aboard in the night though.
Lapierre, 2 years away from Toyota as a factory driver. Number 7 stopped on the uphill section, so I think it was just coasting down. He's going to have to try a full reset, but I've not seen a full power cycle yet. Okay, we've cut away from him, but what I'd like to see is he going to do a full power cycle? we see so often with these cars. There's so many electronic systems on them that often a complete Control-Alt-Delete reset can clear a problem. If they know what it is, then I suspect they won't do that, with the risk of it not coming back up.
12 months ago, they had no idea, did they? They had no idea, and even though we had Lena in earlier on talking about how much data they can watch, soak up, observe, but sometimes they have no idea.
It could have broken an input shaft.
On